Well, I'm a red letter guy. There's a lot of ways to interpret the
Mhm.
Bible, and there's a lot of different types of Christians. And so
Mhm.
for me, my foundation is in the red letters. Like, what did Jesus say? The red letters really help me. Um, but in that, the constant theme in the red letters is service, helping one another, right? And what I believe is the true purpose of humanity is to actually get to where we're going, no matter where you believe that is, together.
Jay Davis is the founder and executive manager of the 144K Collective, which is driven by a mission to help people with a philanthropic goal of providing $250 million in aid annually. A U.S. Navy veteran, Jay is a God driven visionary leader with over 30 years of experience in international trade, healthcare, economic development, and entrepreneurship. Celebrated for his vision and quietly powerful presence, Jay brings transformative solutions and a genuine passion for helping others wherever he goes. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I'm honored.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on to the show. You have quite an impressive background. So, why don't you tell the audience about yourself?
Okay, a little about myself. Jay Davis. I was raised in New York. I was born in New Jersey, but my family moved to New York when I was about 3 or 4 years old. So,
Mhm.
raised in New York, New York City, upstate. We moved quite a bit. I joined the military very early, so the late entry program at 17 when I graduated high school, um, and turned 18. Went to the military, became a nuclear engineer while I was in. Um, I served as active duty till 1998, so 1989 to 1998, and then was officially discharged in 2003. Um, so some military experience before I went into like really adulting in the regular world.
Yeah.
So it's a big difference. Once I came out to the regular world, went to college, I kind of really started to pursue my career, which I ended up here. So I'm a nuclear engineer by trade in education, and I do nothing remotely close to that right now.
Actually, I'm going to go back to the whole that transition. What possessed you to become a nuclear engineer, and then how did you evolve to kind of where you are now? That's an amazing. Let's not gloss over that part. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's kind of crazy. So I went and I tested very well on the ASVAB. Again, I was straight out of high school, and they asked me, it's like, hey, would you like to take this test? Like, it's called the NFQT, Nuclear Fuel Qualification Test. So I took a test, um, and they're like, hey, like, you actually qualify for our nuclear power program. I didn't know what that was, never even heard of it. And I'm like, okay, well, they're like, would you like to do it? I'm like, what's it pay? And they're like, okay, it pays the most. They told me what it pays, and they asked me, said, with this, you get these types of bonuses. It was a lot of money. So I took it. And they said you get to choose where you want to um, deploy, like surface ships or submarines. I said, what pays the most? They said submarines. So I said, okay, submarines. And it just kind of went down a list, and I just kept choosing what paid the most. Really, as again, 18 years old, on my own, and just really wanted to start a life myself. I thought I was going to be a military person, like to retirement. So I just wanted to do what paid the most. And then school started. Then I really, really, really found out what I got into. And it was difficult. It was challenging. Um, yeah, but I made it. I did nuclear engineering for 9 years in
Wow.
the military, 89 to 98.
That is
And
amazing. I think that's incredibly impressive. I think that is absolutely amazing. And so you have successfully navigated careers in healthcare, international trade, and economic development. Sorry. How did you discern your true calling? And what advice would you give to those trying to align their careers with their God-given purpose?
okay, so this actually goes back to my time in the military. I started moonlighting, helping service members transition out.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
in that transition, instead of getting jobs, I kind of taught them how to turn their trade into entrepreneurial endeavor. to go into business for themselves.
Okay.
And so I
Okay.
made a little money on the side by helping them transition and make money. Um, and obviously they had different trades. Like, and not everyone had the same skill set and things of that nature. So I was doing a lot of research and on economics is how I actually got involved in economics and industry and commerce in general, just helping uh, fellow service members transition out. And actually, uh, that company is still existing. It's called VetCAD, and it's
Oh,
endorsed by the Marine Corps Coordinating Council. And we've had over 1,000 people go through that program since I've separated, and it was endorsed. Um, so
wow.
it's a thing, and so it's helping people. That's in my soul. It's in my spirit to do, and that's how I actually tapped into healthcare and international trade and all types of economic development. I've been actually doing the same thing, um, just doing it in different fields for
That's
different
amazing.
people. So I'm not really doing any, they're not really different careers, they're the same career. But I have the opportunity to touch different industries.
That is absolutely amazing. And so you've touched different industries and you wear a lot of different hats. I'm kind of curious, do you have one that you prefer more so than the other one, or are they all equally your babies?
So it's, so ironically, so it's one that's not on the list. It's music. Uh,
Really?
yes, music. So I played piano since I was 7 years old. I'm a musician first. It's my passion. And the music industry is actually my favorite. And we just launched a AI project, what we call the first ethical AI project. It's called iMused, where artists can get paid for um, when they influence AI generated music. And so it's the first platform
Oh,
of its kind. And we just launched it last month, I believe. In
oh my,
fact, Taylor put out the press release. Yeah, I think last month. Yeah, it's a month old,
that's
and we're going to be taking
amazing.
it worldwide.
Okay, that is amazing. I would love to learn a little bit more about that. What possessed you to kind of get into music? Because that does seem a little bit different from the other industries that you've
Yes, it's
already
actually
had experience
I've
in.
never not done music. So I
Mhm.
fell in love with music about 7 years old. Learned to play the piano, the clarinet. Um, Went to the military. Like started a singing group while we were in there. Like I've just always been involved in music. And in my early 20s, while I was still in the military, I wasn't able to get out, but I actually got a contract offer. Um, but I couldn't get out of my military contract, so we had to turn it down
Oh,
with a major label. We were pretty good. Um, so we moonlighted a little bit, did some music on the side, and I learned a lot about the music industry. And maybe I kind of dodged a bullet by not getting into a contract because it is a bit exploitive. And so as I learned how to do these other things to help these other industries um, overcome some of their challenges, my mind always still focused on how can I help musicians and artists overcome the challenges in their industry. And so it's just always been there. We have a record label where we help independent artists. Like we don't sign them to 360 contracts or whatever. It's called Ninth Ward um, Promotions, Production and Promotions Company. And that's actually it was those artists that helped me build iMused as well.
wow,
So
that is so commendable. I think that is absolutely amazing, and especially with everything that's going on with AI and how incredibly exploitive it's been, especially for
yes,
communities of color. It's very refreshing to hear someone actually tackling a project such as
thank
yours.
you.
So I commend you on doing that. That's amazing.
And that is actually my passion, the one that's not on the list, but that is near and dear to my heart,
I'm so
music.
glad we got a chance to discuss that. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm glad we got a chance to pull that out. So thank you for sharing that. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Yeah. So I noticed that you described the 144K Collective as being in the business of helping people, right? How has your faith shaped that mission and guided you through the challenges of leading such an ambitious organization?
Okay. Well, I'm a red letter guy. There's a lot of ways to interpret the
Mhm.
Bible, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
different types of Christians. And
Mhm.
so for me, my foundation is in the red letters. Like, what did Jesus say? Um, and reading that just year over year, helping me get through the military, the challenges in the military, between all the isms that we experience,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, right? The red letters really helped me. Um, but in that, the constant theme in the red letters is service, helping one another, right? And what I believe is the true purpose of humanity is to actually get to where we're going, no matter where you believe that is, together. And we have to help one another. Um, and so when I'm sitting down and someone asked me at one point, like, if you could do like all these different things and hats you put on, if you could actually make a living doing anything, anything in the world. And I think they thought I was going to say music. Like, what would it be? I said, help people. If I could make a living doing one thing, I'd help people. Um, and from that conversation, uh, just divine revelation. That's just what you should do. If that's what you would do, that's what you should do. That's what you're called to do. And so the 144K is the culmination of that. Tearing up a little bit. Um, but yeah, we're in the business of helping people. If I could do that, make a living for the rest of my life, I wouldn't do anything else.
I have to admit that I was so blown away. I get pitches all the time to be on the show, and I was just, does this person exist? Like, I was reading your bio, and I was just like, there's no way this is a real human being. Like, it was just so impressive. And just for someone just I was honestly moved when I read your bio and what the 144K is all about. And I just wanted more people to know about it. So
Thank
um
you.
I really was moved by someone actually taking the initiative to tackle a lot of the topics that your organization does, which actually leads me to the next question. So, the 144K Collective has an incredible goal of providing $250 million in aid annually. So, what inspired that vision, and what steps are you taking to turn that God sized goal into a reality?
Okay, so what actually sparked it is, without getting too technical, the Bureau of Economic Analysis, I think it's called, they
Mhm.
have these multipliers from labor statistics. And these multipliers uh, help you model economic systems. And
Mhm.
so, what a lot of people don't know is like when a wealthy person decides, okay, I want to open an ice cream shop franchise here, like they can almost guarantee in how they actually get funded, they can guarantee the economic impact because they can get guarantee the economic impact. They'll get tax incentives and things of that nature. So it's easy for them to get funded. But these are all historical data from the Bureau of Economic Analysis. And these are modifiers. So you have
Sure.
um, employment modifiers, output modifiers, input modifiers, and value added modifiers, or they're called multipliers. And so what we did is we looked at the value added multipliers in several industries. We said, okay, what would be the economic impact if we help people a particular way here? And we actually modeled those out. Um, and we figured we could actually have a $500 billion impact annually if we could seed or provide a stimulus of $250 million a year, an extra $500 billion. And it's very mathematical, but it's based
Yeah.
on these same um, multipliers that's used by the Bureau of Economic Analysis when they're determining what projects to do in what cities, what areas. And they even use it to determine where not to put money. So a lot of people think that it's just the isms that determine, oh, well, we're not going to put this business here. It's not just the isms. The racism is a part of it,
Yeah.
but because of the racism, it isn't economically viable, right? They're doing the math and they might have caused it, right? So because of whether it's racism or poverty, a lot of times it's sexism. or a lot of different isms where the numbers still don't add up, right? The
Oh,
why
yeah.
doesn't matter. And so they will determine where not to put the money. So one of the things that we've done is determine what particular industries, when you do put it in these areas, if you give it to certain people to do certain things, will it have a scalable, virtuous growth impact?
It's
Um,
amazing.
and so, yeah, we figured all these things out. It's very technical and mathematical. And this is where we came up to $250 million. We know where we're going to put it. We know industries that we're going to help. Um, and we're going to help primarily minority, women owned, indigenous, and veteran owned people establish the same thing I did when I first started in the military: jobs, businesses, trades, creatives, to generate income, right? So
Yeah.
give a way for people to make a living, give them a stimulus, help them, guide them, and have that positive economic impact in these areas that need it. And we'll do it everywhere as well. But we're also going to do it in areas where the money's not going. And that's what's most important, the people that really need the help.
I know you said it was very technical.
Yeah.
You're talking to a numbers girl, so like
Okay,
my
great.
background's in analytics. So yeah, so I totally understand where you're coming from. Maybe not all the technicalities, but I know my numbers too. You're just proving the fact that if you want to solve a problem, you can do it.
Absolutely.
That is what I have been saying all along. And I know so many people rely on the government to, some people are kind of naive thinking that the government is going to be here to help you. And I think there's even a joke out there that if the government shows up to help you, they are certainly not there
Right.
to help you. Right?
Exactly.
So I love the fact that you're seeing a need, you're planting that seed, and obviously it's going to bloom, right? So I'm kind of curious if is there a criteria without the numbers part, but is it just, are you doing anything like character based, or how do you go about kind of picking the folks that you believe would be the catalyst for this
Okay.
project?
Yeah, that's a multi-tiered, multifaceted kind of thing. Because
Mhm.
we also help people who it's not going to have an economic impact. So
Sure,
we do
sure.
have a certain amount of money that's just charitable works. People that need the help, homeless people, um,
Mhm,
we've
mhm.
fed the hungry. People have reached out to us just randomly and said, "Hey,
Sure.
I'm losing my house. Like I lost my job. What can I do?" And if
Mhm.
you catch us at the right time, we're going to help. And it's just that simple. But for the most part, um, it is based on primarily the economic impact that you can have, and we don't, other than felons and people convicted of like sexual assault or violent crimes,
Mhm.
we don't discriminate at all. So it's not about your character specifically. We do have our partners are actually looking into their networks, so you kind of know people like you. Um, and we do
Sure.
ask for people to align with core values, but we don't want to alienate people as well,
Sure.
right? So we don't want to make it like, oh, well, this is a Christian thing, or this is a Judeo-Christian thing, or this is a
Mhm, mhm.
it's not a black thing. It's not
Sure,
an inner
sure,
city thing. It's not an urban thing.
sure, sure.
Um, However, how I choose my partners is based on our core values. So I do choose partners who I feel align with my core values. So when we're
Mhm.
choosing to help people, um, yeah, we're not kind of muddying the waters with helping a type of person that,
Sure. No, I
you
understand.
know what I mean? I don't want to, I mean, people are people and we have our flaws. And we don't want to discriminate, but we do want to be discerning. And so um, that discernment comes from how I choose my partners, because my partners choose who we help, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. It does. It does. Again, absolutely amazing. I'm just so honored to have you on the show because I was just like, is this person real? Because this just doesn't.
Thank you.
I was just impressed. So, as someone who operates in both business and philanthropic spaces, how do you integrate your faith into leadership without compromising professionalism or impact?
Okay, so yeah, I just touched on this. So before I
Yeah.
started down this particular endeavor to do, this is my ministry. It's a street ministry. Um, I decided, you know what, I'm going to choose partners that align with my core values, and they don't have to be Christians, but our core values need to be the same. Um,
Sure.
right? Our spirituality needs to align, regardless of what you call your God, what you call, right? What you identify with your most high. So first of all, like if you're atheist and just believe that we just spawned out of nowhere and there's some black hole exploded, I'm probably not going to make you my partner because our core values don't align. I don't believe we're an accident, and I don't believe we're insignificant in the universe.
Mm.
So um, I probably I might help a person that way. I probably wouldn't align my um, business endeavors with a
Sure.
person like that.
Sure.
Um, and
Sure.
so, and I kind of forgot the question. Oh, but how we don't compromise professionalism because I'm choosing my partners based on uh, synergy of our core values. Um, that includes obviously ethics. I'm a red letter guy,
Sure.
right? You have to have ethics. You have to have integrity. Um, also, um, I'm also big on forgiveness. Like it's fine if you've made a mistake. If you have integrity and if you've owned up to it, we can move on. If you're the type of person who cannot, you probably cannot move on. It's a core value kind of thing. And if we're going to be out here claiming to help people, um, we have to hold ourselves to a certain standard, a certain level of accountability. So for me, it's the red letters. Like I weigh everyone against the red letters. I don't know how they weigh themselves. They don't have to weigh themselves by the letters.
Sure.
But
Sure.
if it does not align, we probably can't be partners. But I do not use the same thing when I decide to help. So if I see someone in need and I have the capacity to help, I just help. Um, and that has actually caused us a lot of challenges with some of our partners. Some of our partners don't necessarily agree with that. Uh,
Mm. Okay. Okay.
so right, they feel people deserve help. I don't believe that. I believe like if you need help, you deserve help. And if I'm here at the time that you need help, God put me here to help,
Yeah,
right? Uh,
I agree.
Whether you deserve help or not, that's not up to me. Like I'm here and I witness you needing help, and I have the capacity to help. Um, Me personally, I could not make a judgment on whether you deserve my help or not. It's just not in my soul or spirit to do. But that has caused some conflicts
Mhm.
with some of the partners are some fire and brimstone.
How do you work around those disagreements though? That's a very good kind of example of how
uh,
you
we
deal
have a
with
board.
conflict.
We have a board,
Okay.
and at the end of the
They
day,
referee.
we vote.
Are
Yes.
they the referees?
Yep. And it comes to a vote, and then we
Okay.
move on, whatever the vote is.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So you have had quite a remarkable journey from serving in the US Navy to building international business networks. How has your faith helped you persevere during seasons of uncertainty or transition?
Okay. I mean, that's a very good question. At some point, my faith turned from being based on an outcome to based on my efforts. So my faith is in my efforts, and I no longer worry about the outcome. And I kind of liken it to being a musician. Like if you're doing music because you want to get famous and you want to do big
Mhm.
shows, and you want to make a lot of money, um, if you have faith that that's going to happen, in my opinion, that's misplaced faith. You were given a gift. If God allows you to make music, that's the blessing. And
Yeah.
if you can wake up and make more music, if you could sing or play your instrument for one person, that's the blessing. And I'm no longer concerned about the outcome. And it was that shift in perspective. If I can actually have the capacity to help, that's the blessing. Like if we don't hit $250 million, or if we do $125 million, am I going to think that our mission was incomplete? Right? Like what will be, what will be. This is I'm doing God's work. The outcome is determined by God, not by me. So I have goal in mind, but we may exceed the goal. If we fall short of the goal, my job is to do the work. My job is not to judge the outcome. Because if I judge the outcome, I judge it as a failure. Does that mean now I stop?
Yeah,
Right. So I have to stop. For me, I had to stop looking at the outcome. My faith is not in the outcome. My faith is, you know, let me wake up another day with the capacity to help someone. And
I love
that's
that.
what I have faith in.
I
And
love that.
yeah, and there's no doubt in if I have the capacity to help, there's no doubt I will help.
I love that. From what I'm hearing from you, it's obey God, leave all the consequences to him.
Yes. Yeah. The
Yeah.
outcome is up to like it's not up to us.
Yeah. I love
So
that.
yeah, if you
Yeah.
have a faith-based mission, I know everyone doesn't, but if you have a faith-based mission, I believe that is the perspective that we should take. That the outcome is not, we're here to do the work. The
Yeah.
outcome is up to God. We do our part, God will do his.
I love that. Love that so much. And much of your work actually focuses on creating economic empowerment and opportunities for others. So, what practical lessons can everyday people like myself learn from you regarding your approach to sustainable success, right? Because so many people out there are like, "Oh, I want to get rich quick," and it's just like, "Wait a minute. First of all, I don't believe in that. That really shouldn't be your goal.
Right.
But what is sustainable success, right?"
So I've developed a 12-step program that's kind of been proven and been
Wow.
vetted um, to deliver sustainable growth. And as long as you do all 12 steps, and it does take some work and creativity, um, but when you implement all 12 steps, you will have a system, whatever you want to call that system, the economic system, and it will
Hmm.
be sustainable, it will be scalable, and it will be grow. There'll be a virtuous circle, not a vicious cycle.
Ooh.
So it won't diminish over time as long it will grow on itself. And it's kind of based on observations that I've made in nature. Nature is built that way. Nature is a virtuous circle, and it's sustainable. Nature will just continue. Like God is set on an autopilot. I don't believe God is sitting there making things turn.
No.
Right? Like it's autopilot,
Yeah.
and it's running right. The divine wisdom is inside of it. It's running a particular way.
Yeah.
Um, and so I've identified like 12 principles, and we've used it, we've had it vetted, um, and it just works. And as long as you implement all 12 of these principles, it will be sustainable. It's called crowd powered. It's power numbers, 12-step crowd powered framework.
Wow. Okay. Can't wait to look that up.
Mhm.
It sounds very interesting. And as a numbers nerd, that's yeah, definitely up my alley. So and actually that kind of leads into my next question. So your Power in Numbers program is incredibly innovative. So please describe the program and how this model embodies the principles of collaboration, stewardship, and community upliftment that align with biblical values.
Okay. Yeah. So the crowd powered framework is based on, first and foremost, the crowd, your community, whatever
Mhm,
your community is. So if you have an audience, turn to community.
mhm,
So artists, fans, right? Turn your fans into your community, your crowd, and then once you have the crowd, to engage it in a particular way where it creates a virtuous cycle. Um, and again, not to beat a dead horse, but I'm a red letter guy. This is all about servant leadership, and combined with community, right? So the biblical principles that are laid out in crowd power is really when people say, "What would Jesus do?" Right? He fed the hungry, right? He turned water into wine, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
stories of the fish, right? He, created the fish, or multiplied them. He helped people that weren't even part of his tribe. It's like, hey, I didn't come for you. I came for my people. And everybody knows about the lady that was pulling on his heel. And
yeah,
she was like, oh, you healed my son. It's like, you healed him. Your faith, you did that.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, really, and I don't know exactly how to articulate this outside of, you know, and this is, I don't want to turn this is not for Christians, but if you are a Christian, this is what would Jesus do, right? You love your neighbor,
Yeah,
not respect your neighbor, know your neighbor, kind of like your neighbor, like love your neighbor,
yeah, yeah.
and what does love, to me, love is self-sacrifice, right? Giving of yourself. Like anything that I've ever loved, like kind of hurt. You have to give a little bit of yourself. You have to put a little bit of yourself into that, right? You get attached to things. So you have to, it's a part of you that's in this thing that you love. And if it's removed, it hurts, right? Because it's like somebody tears off your finger. It hurts because it's part of you. Some of the people that I mentor, I used to, like young people, I mentored years
Mhm,
ago,
mhm, mhm.
and I gave an example. I told them, because they're like, well, how do you know like what's real love and blah 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 and this and that? Because I would, with young people, you have to really try to get them out of the lust perspective of what love is. So I said, hold your breath, and like, okay, and so keep holding it, right? And eventually they breathe. I'm like, why didn't you just hold your breath? Like, I can't hold my breath. Yes, you can. You held your breath. Why didn't you keep holding your breath? Because you love breathing. And that
Mhm,
feeling that you have, in my opinion, when you hold your breath, if you don't feel that for your neighbor, you don't love them.
mhm.
That's the feeling that we should have when we hold our breath and all we want to do is breathe. That's love. We love to breathe. We
Yeah.
love to breathe. You have the capacity to hold your
Yes.
breath, but you
Yeah.
won't hold your breath till you pass out
I
because
like
we
that.
love to breathe. And so I do, and don't want to turn this to a biblical thing, but this was a biblical question.
No, it was.
But
Yes,
and
that's great.
this is where we get our soul from. God breathed into man the breath of life, and he became a living soul. And so that's what we're feeling, God's love, when we breathe.
Yeah.
And when we hold our breath, we're restricting God's love. That's why we feel it. We love to breathe. Breath is the key to life. And he said to love our neighbor. Like the breath is the key. And I think if we feel that for one another, we'll go to the next level. God will take us to where we need to be. And the
I
kingdom
love
of
it.
heaven will come to earth.
I
Love our
love
neighbor.
that. I love that. I haven't heard anyone actually explain it that way, so I appreciate that analogy.
Thank
That's
you.
really good. Really, really good. So, as a visionary leader, there must have been moments of resistance or disbelief from others. So, how do you stay grounded and keep moving forward when people don't see or understand your vision?
Um, Great question. That does happen a lot. I would have to say audacity. Um,
Okay.
it's audacity. Uh, have the audacity to ignore critics, to block out any voice other than the divine voice that you sometimes mistake as your conscience, but it's God talking to you. Block out anything and have the audacity to know that what you're doing is right and to do it simply because it's right. And again, the outcome doesn't matter. It's the right thing to do. It's what you're called to do. Um, and I believe people, like, we know what we're called to do. We don't always want to do it. It's not always comfortable, but we know what we're called to do. We know, um, the voice in our head that we mistake as our conscience, that they gave a word to so that we could ignore the voice of God. And we say, oh,
Mm,
that's your conscience. Um, it's not. There's no sound generated when you hear that voice, right? It's a voice, but where's the sound? Where's that coming from,
mhm.
right? It's not a physical sound, right? But you hear it just as clear as you hear my voice right now. Um, I don't believe that's our conscience.
Mhm.
Just my personal belief. Um,
Mm.
one, if it's a nice sounding word, but there's another voice too, and you don't call that your conscience. It's the one to be like, nobody's gonna know. I won't get caught.
Mm. Excuse me.
But that's a voice too. But we don't call that our conscience. In fact, we don't give that one a name.
Good
Conveniently,
point.
conveniently don't give that voice a name. It's not the same voice.
Good point. Good
One
point.
always touches, and there's a feeling associated, right? Your conscience has a feeling associated with it every time. And if you ignore it, you feel guilty. If, in my opinion, if you have a soul, if you're a soulless person, when you ignore that voice, you don't feel guilt.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have the voice. I don't know. Um, but yeah, that's what I believe. Uh, yeah, audacity. Like you just have to be audacious, fearless. Um, right?
Yeah.
Don't be meek. Be fearless. And I think it's the key to a lot of things. Um,
Mhm.
success. I think it was Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale said, "Success is the progressive realization of a worthy idea. Um,
Ooh.
it's not the goal. It's a progressive realization of a worthy idea. It's you continue working towards that goal that makes you a success. And that is in the work, right? So I labor to love, I love to labor, and right, I serve the Most High, the human race, and myself last. And because I'm a collective person, when I serve myself, I help others. Um, and
I
that's
love.
just the very simple laws that I live by.
Actually, I would love to. Something you just said caught my attention. Is that where the name came from?
Which one?
The name, the 144K Collective? I would
Yes,
love to kind
144.
of give me a little
The
background.
144K collective comes from a story in the Revelations of
Yeah.
after the rapture, there'll be
Mhm.
144,000 individuals that come together and help the world to bring comfort and peace and a level of prosperity back to the world um, before the return of Jesus.
Okay. Okay.
144K will come. So some
I
people
love
like,
that.
that's where the song "When the Saints Come Marching In," I want to be in that number.
Yeah.
It's based on that story, the 144K. So some not all, but some, what do you call it, denominations, they refer to them as saints. Although it's
Mm.
not written the word saints, but they say that's the saints. When the saints come marching in, I want to be
I
in
had
that
to
number.
ask. I had to
So
ask because it's so
44,000.
unique. Okay.
Yeah, so I believe, so in the Bible, it's in the Revelation, it says, many are called, but few are chosen. And I
Mm.
do believe that the chosen ones, like it's a choice. Like people are waiting for God to choose you. But uh, John 10:34, Jesus said, "Isn't it written in your law, ye are gods, and all of you children of the Most High?" So you have to choose yourself. You have to decide. You have
Mm.
the voices telling you what you should do. You have to choose yourself. Like there's no one saying, "Oh, you." It's not like Abraham and Moses. Those times are gone. We have
Yeah.
to choose. No one's coming down. There's no burning bush.
Yeah. Are you
Like
going to
we,
do it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah.
And you're the chosen one if you have the audacity to believe you are. In fact, one of my mentors told me um, once he's kind of fiery preacher, um, and he's like, "Are you the chosen one? Are you the chosen one?" He's talking to the whole congregation, He's like, "Are
Mhm.
you the chosen one?" And people are like, he's like, "No, no, you're not the chosen one." And then he pointed right at me. He said, "Therein lies your error." This is
Mm.
my pastor. He's talking to the congregation. And he pointed at me and said, therein lies your error.
Hmm.
It's like, no, you don't think you're the chosen one?
Interesting.
It's the
Uh,
lack of belief. It's the doubt.
yeah. Oh my goodness.
So just remove all doubt. Like, no, just if you're doing the work, that is success, the progressive realization of a worthy idea. If we want this thing that we don't know what it is, but the kingdom of heaven here on earth, we have to do the work.
You know, that just brought up another question. Doubt is such Doubt can really prevent us from achieving our goals, right? That imposter syndrome is so
Yes.
prevalent among a lot of us, right? So, how did you overcome that? Did you experience that, or how did you overcome that if you did?
Oh yeah. I mean, I had a lot of imposter syndrome. Um, but I've lived a lot of life. So things have been difficult and I've
Hmm.
always come through. I've been blessed. I mean, I was 18 years old when I entered the nuclear power training pipeline,
Hmm.
the United States Navy, which is, they compare it to like MIT. Like I had no college experience or anything. I'm just winging it. I mean, it's very difficult, um, extremely hard. Then, I'm like, okay, well, I want to be on submarines. That's a whole warfare qualification I didn't know about. Everyone on submarines has to be warfare qualified. It's the only place in the Navy that's like that. And if you don't get your warfare qualification, you're kicked off. You have 12 months to qualify. And if you're not qualified, you just buy, and it's 100% volunteer. Um,
Wow.
wasn't prepared for that. Everyone on the submarine can do everyone else's job. So the cooks can shut down and start up a nuclear reactor. And the nukes, which I was, can cook for a crew of 100 people. It's where I learned to cook. We can
Wow.
fire torpedoes, countermeasures, we can operate radio, sonar. Every submariner can do every other job. We can drive the boat. Yeah, most people don't know that. I didn't know that. Um, challenging again. I got to my first boat and I was 20. So it's 2 years, about 2 years of nuclear training, and then go to submarine at 20. It's like, oh, you got to learn everybody's job, not
Okay,
not
the
just your
memory
own.
you have it's
It's like
got to
not,
be amazing. I'm sitting there like,
yeah,
uh,
not just your own. Um, so yeah, things were challenging, and I think that kind of built up audacity because I've done a lot. I've done a lot of things. Growing up in inner city New York in the projects, people
mhm.
said I couldn't do. I shouldn't be able to do. I mean, you can imagine I was one of the very few nuclear engineers
Yeah,
that look like
absolutely.
us.
Yeah, absolutely
One of the
amazing.
very few. So yeah,
That's amazing.
it just became a
Yeah.
bit audacious. If you want to be exceptional, you're going to be the exception. You're going to be alone sometimes,
Mhm.
and it's gonna feel like maybe this ain't for me, and you have to kick it because if you don't, it's not for you. Like you'll fail.
Yeah,
You have to kind of know you're gonna make it.
I love that. I love that. So I ask all of my guests this next question. All right. So if you had to choose one word to represent your goals for this year, what would it be and why?
One word. That is a
I know.
profound question. That's a tough question. Word. Um, hmm. Any word?
Any word, completely up to you.
Then I will say favorite.
Ooh, and why?
Um, because it is the genuine hope that I have the Most High has on my goals for this year. I hope they are favored. That's what I pray for.
I love that. Oh my goodness, it's almost like you're not real, but that's
I'm here just
it's so genuine. Like I love that so much. I really do. Favored. I have okay, so I've been doing this for about 8 years now, and I have yet to
at the
have
first time.
anyone say that word. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I pray
Favored.
and hope for. I
I
hope they are
love
favored
I
because
love
the outcome, right? The outcome is not in my control. So I hope they are favored.
I
I
love
pray.
that.
I pray they're favored.
I love that so much. Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. I
Thank you.
truly do mean that. And so, if you could leave our audience with one piece of wisdom about walking boldly in faith and fulfilling their God-given purpose, what would it be and why?
Okay. I think the answer is in the question. Uh, do it boldly. To be bold, I mentioned earlier, audacity, to have audacity.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
I think faith takes that. It takes audacity. It takes boldness because true faith is doubtless. There's no doubt, right? If it's not really faith, if there's doubt, it's belief.
True.
Um, Faith should be undoubtedly steadfast. And so I think it takes audacity and boldness. And I think the answer is in the question. Walk boldly with like just know, no, and forget the outcome. Know you're doing what you're supposed to do. That's kind of how I get. I
Mhm.
just know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm not really worried about the outcome at all. So I'm not even disappointed by the outcome. Like if it doesn't measure up, like what? Because I'm not going to stop. So
I
so
love
what?
that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. So why am I measuring the outcome? Like I'm not going to make a decision on what to do next based on the outcome. So I'm not worried about the outcome. I'm going to do this anyway, and so that's why I'm doing something rich, poor, happy, sad. I would do no matter what, and that's why it wasn't music because there's conditions where I might not do music, but I don't see a condition where I have the capacity to help people that I would not help people. So I think so. I was like, you know what? That's what I need to be doing. That's when the voice said, "That's what you need to do. That's the thing you will always do, undoubtedly, unwavering. If I have the capacity to help, I will." So I'm in the business of helping people.
I love that. No better way to end this. Jay, it has been an absolute pleasure and honor having you on the show.
Thank you.
If folks want to get in touch with you, how can they go about doing so?
Well, our website, you can visit us at our website, 144K, 144K collective.org.
Okay.
You can also find us on YouTube and Instagram, the 144K Collective. And you send us a message. One of the partners may not always be me, but you send us a message, somebody will definitely send a message back.
Love it. Love it. Once again, Jay, thank you so much for coming on to the show. I know all the information, the gems that you have dropped have been beneficial for our audience. And once again, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. This is actually the first pure faith-based interview that I've done around 144K. It's usually focused on the philanthropy and the business model. Um, and if people don't ask, I don't talk about it. Like,
Sure.
but yeah, I'm happy to have an interview like this. I really appreciate it. I'm honored.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you allowing me to be the first one to do that. So thank you so much.
Thank you.